got the 304th meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee in Nigeria starting today in Abuja, decision tomorrow. The rate, of course, being cut to 27% in the September meeting of last year. And that, of course, predicted by Chika Mbonu, I should mention. That was the first cut since 2020. He also said, of course, that we're probably likely to be a hold in November. Chika said it could be a hold or a cut. They held in November. And so here we are at the February 2023-24 meeting. We should also mention, I want to get Chika's thoughts on this as well. Governor Cardoso, earlier this month, warning about the impact of election spending on money supply. So we're going to speak with Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu, who joins us now. Chika, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
I hope you had fun.
I had a lot of rest. Lots of rest, especially. Chika, look, I don't want to turn this into a prediction game, but I only maybe you can, as you always do, you lay the scenarios out for the viewers. This first meeting for the Monetary Policy Committee of 2026. So much to discuss. I don't know if you want to talk about the background before we get to the actual decision.
Talk about background for our viewers.
Yeah.
I mean, each time we have an opportunity like this, we would try to explain a little more to a lot of our viewers who are non-finance people.
Yeah.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, indeed for each country, is responsible for monetary policy of the country. And for Nigeria, they exercise that authority through the Monetary Policy Committee. And then they meet usually bi-monthly, every 2 months, unless there are other emergencies or other exigencies that will necessitate in a different agenda.
Like an emergency meeting,
yes.
Yeah.
So the last one was November 24 and 25. That was last for 2025.
Yeah.
And so 2026, the first, therefore, is this February that we're in. In that meeting in 2025, last meeting, which you already talked about during your rundown, they held the MPR at 27%.
That's right.
And a lot of analysts thought that indeed they're going to cut.
Right.
But we got it right in our station here as usual.
Yep.
And then we said that the circumstances, the environment, the macro environment, were still very tepid and choppy. It didn't require CBN to immediately jump into a cut. Now we are here again in February.
Yeah.
And again, as you said, it's not a prediction game, which it is not. And so what I'm going to do, Rotus, is to look at what have been, if I'm in that room, I'm going to look at November 2025
right, and
extrapolate to 2026 February, where we are now, and look at what are things that have changed and what possible impact may they have towards arriving at a decision, so that it doesn't become a gamble.
Exactly.
Let's start with what inflation has continued to ease since from that time, and the measurement has also changed. Headline inflation has kept declining. 2026, it came down at 15.10%. Compared to 15.415 in December, and the 10th straight month of decline. That's very important to note. Food inflation, which is a key pain point, politically and socially, especially.
Indeed.
Is reported at 8.9 year-on-year in January 2020, down from 10.84 in December 2025. So crucially, the MBS, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, had updated, revamped the CPI, the methodology they use in measuring that, and rebasing the framework. That means inflation drop is real, okay? But the MPC may treat the new series still with extra caution, because before making a big policy pivot. The other thing that, if I'm in that room, I'm going to look at is FS looks more stable and stronger than it did in November. The Naira has been stronger footing, supported by FS inflows and CBN factions that narrowed the official parallel gap, almost to about less than 50 Naira now.
Exactly, yeah.
And even the NFM official rate also has come down that. So the streets is about 13.85. The official is about 13.44, even as of February 19th. And you find that They're all coming together. So, so external reserves also have been rebuilt.
Yep.
CBN has more defense ammo now. They have more ammunition now to defend the currency. The results are reported to be in the high 40s, at 48.50 billion as of February 27, based on business day reports. Oil and fiscal developments are also more supported than late 2025.
Yeah.
So I can go on. Growth is okay, but it's not booming and still non-oil led.
Yeah.
So latest GDP, as Q3 2025 printed at 3.98 year-on-year. So these factors, Rotus, therefore, if I'm that room, is like, can we start easing without losing the FX and stability that we have,
right,
and then reigniting inflation? That's what will be on my head if I'm in that place. And those are the big decisions I have to take. And the inputs will enable me to go to where I want to be now.
The electioneering part, can you talk about Cardoso's warning about spending?
Because of the fact that the tool that CBN has used, basically, all the tools has been cut, remember they were moving rates up to suck up liquidity from the system. That has what used to help. That's helped our runaway inflation to be moderated.
Yeah.
So they have tried sort of moderated liquidity in the system to a manageable level, and then so if the election money comes into the system again. You can remember the report we did here about the cash outside the banking system.
Right, yes.
You can also that ballooned. So if that comes into the system, this stability that we have on liquidity management will be affected. I know when there's a lot of liquidity in the Nigerian system, what does it do? It chases FX.
Yeah.
And so the FX stability that would just celebrated now,
we're
under pressure. That's basically what it's saying. That we have to, the fiscal side has to be very, very, very careful in managing that. Because a lot of money now, actually the report says more than 50% of the money goes to the subnational government. After the 100 naira comes to Nigeria, about 50% of it goes to the states and local governments. So they have a role again in managing that. So you're going to ask me, what are the best guess outcome for this meeting for me? Is it hold? Is it cut? Is it a hike? Now, my base case, most likely, is a hold.
Okay.
If I were in that room. Hold it, the MPR monetary rate at 21% with the corridor and CRR unchanged. Why would I do that? Inflation is easing, yes.
Yeah.
But it's still high in absolute terms. But the methodology change encourages wait and see. MPC want to protect FX stability narrative and avoiding a signal that triggers speculative demand. Remember I said, when there's so much liquidity in the system, in Nigeria, it tends to gravitate towards FX. So however, that's the next most likely scenario. It's more cut. 25 basis point to 50 basis point. Or the cautious language, I think. It's signal cut to show the tightening cycle is coming to an end, which we know. Because remember, inflation has fallen for 10 consecutive months.
That's right.
While keeping stance broadly restrictive. This is where some analysts are also leaning. A hike.
Out of the question.
Out of the question. So if you ask me, probability of hold for me, about 55 to 65%.
Okay.
That would I do if I'm in a room. Cut, about 25 to 50 basis points, about 40% probability. Cut, hike. Almost zero.
Almost zero.
Yes.
RS business analyst Chika Mbonu, thank you for laying it out. Again, we will get the decision tomorrow. We will see how things work out and we'll monitor things. It's an interesting year with the election next year. There's so much for us to discuss. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.